news. And welcome back to EWC Central. Obviously, you can see the grand finals for Rocket League are underway, and with the series tied up at 1-1, it looks like it might just go the distance. Falcons or BDS, who will accrue the 1,000 points and the additional championship money. We are stopping our regular gameplay coverage to do a very, very special interview. I've been here for 8 weeks, and I can count on one hand the number of times that we have had the championship-winning team joining us in studio with their trophy, their key, and I cannot wait to hear why they crushed their opponent's keys and what the drama was there. It is my absolute pleasure to once again welcome Dara to the broadcast and Team Redline Racing. We'll give her a round of applause. Yeah, come on, let's go. That's what I like to hear. Just quickly before we dive in, a brief introduction. Our show is kind of like a podcast. We have specialists from every game. So we've had Tekken 8, we have PUBG, we have Rocket League. We're just watching Rocket League. So could you explain and introduce yourselves to our audience? It'll be camera number 1. Who are you? What do you do?
So I'm Jeffrey Rietveld, and I'm a professional sim racer for Team Redline, which basically means that we drive virtual cars on a virtual track as quick as possible.
I love that.
My name is Luke Bennett, and I am a quarter of our ESL R1 team lineup. And yeah, I'm also same driver as Jeff, pretty much, just a different body, different age, and a bit better looking.
Yes. Okay, we are kicking this off on the right foot. Before I let Dara ask some of the more R1 specific questions, let's talk about EWC. Let's talk about the tournament as a whole. I know R1 was here last year during Gamers 8. I don't know whether or not you guys have experience with that individually, but being attached to these arenas, being attached to all these other, let's say, traditional esports titles, how has that experience been? Maybe Jeffrey?
The experience has been great, honestly. I mean, as soon as we arrived here, everything is taken care of. We're staying in a great hotel with great food, and the transportation between the hotel and the venues have also been really flawless. So yeah, super well organized. And I mean, the whole boulevard here looks great, you know? So many gamers, but also a lot of fun stuff to do. Everything looks fresh, new.
If I can tell you this, I've done a lot of interviews. I've been here 8 weeks. You were the first person, and trust an R1 driver to be the first person to talk about transportation. Straight up, the stereotypes are themselves. Luke, do you have any experience with other titles? Like there has to be some Call of Duty or FC in your background?
I tell you what, I've played them, but really not very well at all. Like, obviously, I'm 19 years old, so of course I'm going to have played.
I made an assumption. I made an assumption
yeah, well,
it was a safe
your
one.
assumption was correct. Yeah, I've played them, but absolutely terribly compared to the people that have been doing it here in these past 8 weeks.
Can I just quickly ask, before we then talk about your team's performance, what do you think of seeing like EAFC here, the likes of Call of Duty? I'm making some assumptions just based on your nationality in the games that I know well played, that you probably have played, and comparing it to like competitive titles in like Call of Duty, FC, Counter-Strike, and Rensport. How are they different?
Well, I think something like Call of Duty or EAFC, it's something that's been around for a while, something that's been competitive for a while, whereas I think ESL R1 is quite a new thing. And, you know, we're just starting up. You know, we might not have the crowd that they have, but I'm sure over the next few years it will get better, and it will become more exciting and more known. So, yeah, I mean, I look forward to them events happening.
I mean, there's also a bit of a progression recently, hasn't there? Especially as you guys Team Redline, backed by Max Verstappen, he's part of the team. Have you kind of seen a bit of an increase in the profile of sim racing in the last year and a half?
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot bigger, I think, especially for us as well personally. You know, we started really taking our Twitch streams quite seriously in the past year, and we get a huge following from that.
We're turning them to gamers, Dara. We've been having
You're breaking us.
We've been having a fun debate about whether a game and a simulated driving, whether they are comparable, whether it's debatable or not. We're not going to unpack that. We have the championship-winning simulation driving team here, so that's what we're sticking with. Jeffrey, why did you absolutely dominate the competition this past week?
Our preparation has been very intense and very good. I think the lineup that we have, because we drive with 4 drivers and we all need to perform, I think it's one of the strongest lineups we've had. Besides that, yeah, like I said, preparation has been very, very good from our part. And yeah, I mean, to be part of this team, you need to have talent, you know? So all of my teammates have performed amazingly well. We all know how to deal with the pressure. I think everyone, you know, coming into the event, like everyone was looking at us like, hey, these guys should win it, but then, you know, like, we deal with the pressure quite well, I would say.
And I mean, you said about practice and how much effort you put in. For the guys at home who don't do sim racing, how much time do you put in over the course of an ESLR1 season, would you say?
The whole season?
Yeah.
Hundreds, maybe 400 hours or something, Luke? Like,
You know
total?
what? That's actually too big. Explain a week for me. What does a Monday through Sunday look like?
It's a little bit different between the two of us, I think.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
Which one of you was fast on the track? They should answer first. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm
Hi. A normal week in my life, you know, every day is the same, pretty much. It's actually not what I'd want to do. But, you know, I wake up, I'll have my breakfast, I'll start driving, I'll get shouted at by my team manager, Andre. And then moving on from that, I'll have my lunch, and then I'll drive again, and then I'll have my dinner, and then I'll go back to playing EAFC and COD.
Oh, I love it. I love that. I tell you what, your PR team's done well because you've get the right answer for this event. So thank you for that one. Look, we've got some highlights on the screen right now. I presume that when the team is doing as well as it is, when you're setting the records, we're scoring the points, and like, you guys get into finals mode first. You absolutely smash. The start time for ESLR1 was so early today because the hope was that it would take more than 5 races to win. So I'm a bit mad at you for not giving me more. I'm congratulating you for doing it so well. But like, do you get to savor that moment when the team is performing so well and it's looking, you expect it to do well, but you kind of over-deliver even on expectations?
Yeah, I think that everyone came here with a lot of confidence within our team, and in the driver championship the boys already showed crazy good pace compared to the competition. And you know, yesterday we had a very chilled day. We had a day off because we qualified directly for the finals, and I think we recharged our batteries, and yeah, you know, came in flying today. Like, no one was really nervous, I think, because we just trust each other.
Yeah.
We know that if one of us makes a mistake, there's like a different teammate that will bounce back, you know, and having that feeling makes it a lot easier to perform.
It's very inspirational to hear, by the way. Like, despite even the fact you're trolling each other, it actually is very
I
exciting.
was going to say, how much backing then do you get from your team? Because obviously people at home can't see, but there's a big group of people behind
It's
the
an
camera.
army.
Yeah, there's an army behind the camera. How much support do you get from all of these guys? Because you bring quite a few people to each event.
Yeah, we get a lot of support. I mean, we have the people from BMW with us, which is of course the car that we drive and the partner that we have. We also had Formula Medicine with us, who would look after us in terms of like nutrition and that type of stuff. For me personally, I had a great chat with one of the Formula Medicine guys, and that really put me in a different mindset for qualifying today. And my qualifyings have been really good today, you know, compared to the earliest days in this event. So
I'm very sorry to interrupt, but I want to say we want to make sure we hear from the entire team. Before I very politely kick you off my sofa and invite the other half of the squad, I want to give you guys an opportunity to talk a little bit about your experiences in EWC from a very personal place. And if you wanted to give a shout out to any fans, supporters, viewers, you have the opportunity to do so. Camera number 1, we clip those out, they go on social. So who's first? Let's go.
I'll go first, sure, why not? I mean, well, first of all, you know, I want to say a big thank you to just my team and to BMW and to Timo. I know that he'll like that one. And of course, you know, I have to thank my family, my parents mostly. They're very supportive, and they believed in me, and I know my teammates did, and I think that's what's given us that extra bit of confidence and spurred us on to do as well as we have.
yeah, I mean, fully agree with Luke there. Like, it's the backing from the team, so from the Verstappen.com part, but also BMW, of course, like, has been great. You feel, yeah, how to explain it, like, they have full faith in what we are doing, and having that feeling makes it a lot easier to perform. Of course, my parents, I want to thank them. Like, I know they're watching. They follow me for years now, and they always watch every race. So I've received some very kind messages from them, so yeah.
For your parents, let them know if they want to learn more about the wider world of esports. EWC Central. This is a little bit more, one very last question, then we'll take a look at the overall standings and tag you guys out. Tell me, whose keys did you enjoy crushing the most, or whose keys did you put your... Tell me something about the keys, and you'll know what is safe to say, what's not. What do you think?
Well, there's a couple. I need to make sure I don't get myself in trouble here. There is a couple of teams we enjoyed crushing quite a lot. You know, old rivals, Porsche Coanda Esports. You know, they were the champions of Gamers 8 last year. We did enjoy in making sure that their key was not in the same shape as ours.
I love that so much. Would you like to comment on the keys? You're allowed to say no.
Yeah, I mean, I fully agree with Bennett there. I think like the key that we enjoyed crushing the most was Porsche Coanda because they won last year.
That's the soundbite I wanted.
I mean, it's like they are one of our biggest rivals in not only this but also other sims. So yeah, to see their key crushed is a good feeling.
I will say this very quickly. The key crushing is brand new. I've watched a lot of esports tournaments in over 20 years, and it's one of the things I find is very unique. Whether you are crushing an opponent's key because of spite or out of respect, it adds to the stories. It's what builds those things. I'm going to say thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm going to bring the standings up on screen right now. When we bring these up, Dara, talk to me about the numbers, and let's actually hype up Redline. How dominant is this? I'll ask the two drivers to swap out, please. Can we get your teammates onto the sofa and tell me how dominant this is so that we can get Team Redline to hear you explaining it?
So, of course, Team Redline started on 100 points today. You can see on the graphic they got to 300 in 5 races. I don't mean to call Luke out like this, but he was the only driver in any of the races to not finish on the podium, despite it was a 4th.
Wow.
So there were 4 double podiums, and there was a second and a 4th. Sorry, Luke.
We'll give you the story in a second. We'll get you to comment on this. This is some spicy. That's a beautiful soundbite. And look, to be fair, when you do have teammates as good as Luke does, it's hard to finish on the podium, you know?
I mean, Luke still did an incredible job. I'm just saying.
Of course.
I mean, 2-4 is still really, really good with the field that we had overall. I mean, you had Maus, Porsche Coanda, as they mentioned. They were right up there, despite the fact they were a little bit slower than they probably would have wanted to be.
Yeah.
But Vitality as well, they were up there, got second for the club championship. It was...
But give me 1 second. I would love to, once again, congratulate the drivers. Yeah, thank you very much. It does come through on the mic. Congratulations again. As I said, for me, this is very special. We don't get to see this trophy in our studio all that often. Please take a second. Introduce yourself to our viewers and tell me what other video games you've played, if any.
Yeah, my name is Sebastian Job. I am the other driver from the UK in Team Redline.
So FC and Call of Duty then? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of EFC. I'm not very good as well.
That's perfect.
Me and Bennett got that in common. We haven't actually played each other though. So I don't know who's better.
Well, listen, after EWC, there's a piece of social content.
Yeah,
right? So
at the hotel. You're going to have to do it at the hotel and play it lounge.
Yeah.
And yourself, what games have you played outside of this, and who are you?
I'm Kevin Siggy. I'm from Slovenia, one of the smaller countries. But yeah, I'm also part of Team Redline, one of the best teams in the world since I can remember, really. For myself, I play a variety of games. Let's say I play Hunt Showdown nowadays, the new version of it. I also play League of Legends. I also play Call of Duty with the boys. A couple of times the AFC, but there's not too much to it. Teamfight Tactics, maybe a little bit, and Apex Legends, a variety.
This I like. So Mr. Siggy, we'll have a little bit more of a conversation. I spent 12 years commentating League of Legends out of Europe, so I'm very familiar with that game. Let's talk very quickly. As somebody that's seen a lot more games, I presume, than most of the team, what do you think of the trophy system? What do you think of the keys and kind of how that's going to help build a legacy and a story?
I think it's very unique. I mean, we've never seen anything like it. I think the crushing of the keys, I think it's pretty cool in the sense that as as the champions, you take the keys of your rivals that you either like or don't like, or respect or don't respect. You go and crush them and put them under your trophy, which is obviously very cool, very unique, and very good for the social media, very good for the clicks,
It's great for viewers.
Exactly.
Absolutely great for viewers.
People just kept telling me, like, what is this kind of key crushing thing? It's very cool, actually. So it's, in a sense, it's so different that people just don't know about it. So it's being talked a lot about it. So maybe in the future, if we do something even more unique to that, or maybe add some flavor to it, it might be even cooler.
Derek, can you say that statement again? What was the number from Luke Bennett and placements? Because Mr. Siggy and Job over here, I don't think they fully heard. So.
No. So obviously you got 4 double podiums over the course of the day, and only in the first race you got a 2 and a 4, and Luke got 4th. There wasn't a slight at Luke.
It's an observation. It's a fact.
Luke did better than Jeffrey in the Drivers' Championship, so he can have that over Jeffrey.
How does this feel when you hear that? Are we going to be needing to give a word to Luke later?
Yeah, I mean, he just didn't drive well enough, really. He was just terrible. No, Luke did great. Unfortunately, there was quite a few scenarios this week where 2 of us would be at the front, and even if he qualified ahead, he'd end up like we'd go 3 wide into a corner, and he'd come out behind, and then he has to play the number 2 driver in that scenario. And I think He'd played it perfectly every time. You know, it's quite frustrating to have to. You know you've got more in the tank, but you have to play the team role.
Can I tell you, or can I ask you to comment on this? I might suggest for the staff behind the camera, make your way to the right-hand side of the room because you may want to watch this clip. Sincerely, I mean, make sure you can see a shot here. Job, I'm going to show you a clip, and I'd love for you to comment how you feel when you see this. If we can bring this clip up, can we make there we go, perfect. Can we bring this footage up? It's of your teammate. Tell me what you think when you see this.
I know exactly what this is. Bang! I was hoping you would mention this.
Oh, really? Tell me why.
Well, it's quite obvious, you know, when the camera's on him. It's quite significant, and the makeup doesn't really hide it.
Siggy, can you explain to us? Give me some context as to why. I'm not doing this to make fun of you. I'm gonna build this into a point in a second.
I mean, why? I mean, it's very difficult mentally to kind of be, you know, on top of it when you've won the first race of the drivers, and then you just keep on losing and losing. And obviously, after round 5, I was supposed to be in finalist mode already, but I sort of got half taken out in the hairpin of Hockenheim, so it was obviously a lot of pressure on me. So as I off-tracked the first Monza, I was kind of annoyed and, you know, all the built-up emotions and everything. But then when we got to the second one, when I fixed my settings with the brakes because I wasn't feeling that well, I hit the very first sector very, very good. And then coming onto the second chicane, I did the exact same off-track. And, you know, as everything was just slipping out of my hands, the championship, I thought at least, it just so much emotion, everything. I just literally ran my head in the wheel.
I will tell you this. It's something I've seen many times before. There are players in Counter-Strike, players in fighting games that have broken their hands by hitting the table so hard. It's not something, I don't show this video to poke fun. I actually show it to demonstrate just how much emotion, how much drive you have. Darryl, we're going to start wrapping up the conversation just a little bit. Let's go some driver questions. There's an opportunity for you to take this wherever you want.
I mean, I was going to ask Seb particularly, so after I don't like to bring your Thursday up for you, but I mean, after that, how are you bouncing back? Because you performed really, really well on Friday, and I know that was, you know, we were thinking as a group of casters whether you'd, you know, really come back stronger, and it was really impressive. So how did you do it?
Yeah, for me, it was never really a question of if I could bounce back, because I already had figured out the reason that I dropped off on Thursday. It wasn't I started choking or was feeling the pressure. In fact, I was almost too relaxed, but I started getting really tired. We were up until we got back to the hotel at 2:30 a.m. the day before because practice was so heavily delayed, and I can't handle not having much sleep. And I think as the day went on, because I had a great streak of winning 4 races, and the adrenaline just goes, and then eventually you just have a crash. And I couldn't get myself back up and awake. So the next day, I only had to do 2 races. It was easy. I was full of energy, no doubt in my mind that I was going to perform. And as you saw, like, the results were good enough. So
I'm going to say one last thing. Unfortunately, we are going to be running out of time. If I'm going to give you guys the opportunity to give a shout out to fans, viewers, wherever your heart takes you. And then I've got one last question for Siggy just right at the end. So, Job, camera number 1, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I've obviously a big thank you to all of the Team Redline fans. We have Crane, who has worked unbelievably hard, streaming for days on end, keeping the Twitch chat entertained. He's a great guy, and I think he's deserved a bit of a break after this. I have a bit of a weird one. I have to thank Kaiki Oliveira, because I lost my racing boots, and he lent me his today.
Wow.
And I won multiple races with those shoes today, so I think I'm going to buy a new pair.
I think you need to buy him a pair of shoes as well.
Yeah, I think I do.
Listen, you just won the championship. He deserves a pair of shoes.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
So a big thank you to him. And then, of course, just my family and friends. They're all very supportive. And I am a very lucky person to have so much support.
Siggy, message from the heart?
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, thanks to all the fans as well. The Twitch chat and the people that were making this happen. Obviously, Crane from the stream itself, Chris Lallam, Bosch as well. Just to have some co-hosts over there. Also, thank you BMW for such an amazing opportunity. I mean, even a few weeks ago, we went to the Italy trip to kind of relax and figure out how to keep our mentals up. So thank you very much to everyone that's managed that. but also to my family. They've been great to support even after, even after the bad moments from last year and everything, and getting myself back up. So thank you to everyone. We wouldn't have done it without you guys, and we're grateful to have you.
I want to say thank you so much. A huge congratulations to Team Redline. One very final question. Here in the studio, we've got about 100 monitors with all the different streams. During the course of all the interviews, Kevin Siggy is the only one that's been really focused in the other games. So the question I'll ask you is, while you're looking at the other tournaments that are here, what message would you send to those viewers to get them to come join you in either racing in R1 or watching R1?
I would say, I know it's hard to say because I just wish that we had a little bit more fighting going on in these sort of champions. I mean, it does. I mean, we have to apologize for making it very boring.
Listen, never apologize for being fantastic in your But if I may, I'm going to summarize this. Yeah. Get good, gamers. Yeah. Get out there and challenge Team Redline. You can download the game. You can actually play it.
Get gooder.
Get gooder. There we go. That's gooder. Say, I can tell you played a lot of games.
Yeah, we're insane, but we still do apologize.
Oh, I have to say thank you so much.
I don't know. If we have a bit more fighting on those tracks as well, then maybe obviously people can maybe come and see how the sim racing events go. I mean, it's obviously very entertaining, especially all these little sprint races where everyone is just fighting it all out for P1 or even P5. It doesn't matter because points matter. Yeah, I mean, it might be very hard because it's not as popular, but hopefully as the popularity goes up, people can actually tune in a bit more. Same as for Apex and CS. Obviously, it's not gonna be as big as CS.
Of course, of course. But look, I'll tell you this. I had the pleasure of speaking to the head of strategy for Wrenchport, and he said some things that were quite optimistic and quite exciting. And it's still early days. Esports don't grow to become the size of Counter-Strike in 2 years. That game's been around for over 30. Gentlemen, I'm going to quickly just show this on camera. This is a very exclusive piece of merch. We're going to be giving this away. You can find out details when you head over to EWC TikTok. I'm going to be asking all the drivers, coaches, staff, everyone from Team Redline sign this. You're probably going to have to sign it downstairs because we've still got a show to do. So I'll give it to you. It'll come back. I just want to say thank you so much. Congratulations to the drivers once more. Congratulations to Team Redline. And then Max, hi. Right, we're going to carry on with the show. We're going to jump inside the STC arena. Keep a close eye on that PUBG final map. We'll be right back with EWC Central.
Strong against